Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, back with more spoilers. Apparently they dropped spoilers on top of just like their own live stream, which I guess I should have seen coming, so we're gonna do a two-parter today. So I'll play catch up in this one, but I have got 2 words for you guys that are gonna change your life. Small monkey. And he's on your shoulder. Look at this guy, Simian Sling. Probably should be Slinger, that would make more sense, but he's an artifact creature equipment monkey. I think he's made out of magic origami. And he just sits there and throws little ping pong balls at your enemy. This is the greatest thing I've seen since I started playing the game. That nothing is ever going to top tiny shoulder monkey throwing balls at your opponent. This set is now 11 out of 10. So what the card actually does, not that it matters, is equipped creature gets +1/+1, which is pretty good for a 1-drop, 1/1 creature with Reconfigure 2, which is basically equip, dequip. And whenever it or equipped creature becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to defending player. So if it becomes unequipped or if you dequip it, it is a 1/1 creature. Otherwise, it adds 1/1 to whatever it's equipped to, and then no matter what, that effect goes off. So I don't know why this is just occurring to me now. We've already seen this, but this is literally an upgrade to Bestow, which Bestow is one of my all-time favorite mechanics because you got to kill something twice, but if you kill it the first time when it's stacked up, you kind of still get half of it. Like the base is gone, but then the enchantment creature jumps off. I love that. Night Howler was the bomb. So this is like that, but I guess a little bit weaker because because you can just keep re-equipping it. You can't re-bestow a creature after it, jumps off. So yeah, I like this. They got to be careful not to make it too powerful though, which is why Monkey's so small. So next up, Biting Palm Ninja. It's a 3-cost black 3/3 human ninja with ninjutsu 3. Biting Palm Ninja enters the battlefield with a menace counter on it. That's annoying. And whenever Biting Palm Ninja deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a menace counter from it. When you do, it should say if you do, that player reveals their hand and you choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. So you can already wait until it's not blocked, then ninjutsu it into battle. It pretty much auto hits, and then you can remove the menace counter that you weren't even using anyway. Boom, hand disruption effect, very annoying. Or before blockers are declared, you can just say, I'm attacking with this. Those are my attackers. In response, or I guess at the beginning of the declare blockers phase or something like that, then, it enters the battlefield with a menace counter on it, and now they have to block it twice. So this is pretty flexible and pretty annoying, and I can see why they made it a rare. Hopefully with the amount of instant speed removal we have, ninjutsu just never takes off because it is so unbelievably annoying to play against. Next up we got Dokuchi Shadow Walker. It's a 6-cost 5/5 with ninjutsu 4. That's it, and it's an ogre ninja. Alright, keeping it simple. I mean, that's just, obviously for draft. And then we got Aki Ember Keeper. I'm sure I'm nailing these pronunciations. 2/1 for 2 Goblin Warrior enchantment creature. And whenever a non-token modified creature you control dies, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Very, very uncommon to see something like this in red, so that's kind of weird, but I'll take it. Next up, we got Jukai Naturalist, aka Hipster Class, and it says Human Monk. Yeah, that's about right. Enchantment creature. Sure. The enchantment count in enchantment ETB is going to be so off the charts when this crap drops, and this is in the 2 most dangerous colors for that. Seriously, green-white enchantments. It is going to be insane until they ban something from it. So this is a 2-cost green-white 2/2 lifelink, and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, as if we needed to drive home the power level of the enchantment deck even more. This is outrageous. So next up, Greater Tanuki. That is a big boy. So it's a 6-cost 6/5 enchantment creature dog, even though that clearly is a fox mixed with a raccoon, but okay. With trample and channel 3, which means I don't have 6, give me a different card. Well, in this case, usually it's, just launch off the ETB effect as a spell, but not always. So pay 3, discard it, and then search the library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. So if you don't have enough lands, go get a land. If you do have enough, drop them in. Pretty simple. Still more of a draft card, but it's all right. Next up, Unstoppable Ogre, a 4/1 for 3, hello, artifact creature ogre warrior. So we're going to have robots as well, I guess, even though he looks 100% organic. Okay. When Unstoppable Ogre enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn. Well, that's annoying. At least it doesn't cost 2. They made that mistake in the past. So next up, Ancestral Katana, because it wouldn't be a weeb set without a katana. Mall Ninjas Rejoice. So it's a white 2-cost equipment, and whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may pay 1 when you do, which I still think that should say if you do. Okay. Attach Ancestral Katana to it. Otherwise, the equip normally is 3, but equipped creature gets +2/+1. So it looked like Samurai didn't have enough support, so they stretched it out to Warriors, which goes all the way back to Kaldheim, especially in white. If you haven't had the displeasure of playing against red-white equipment right now in the standard meta, it's so ridiculously like all in turn 4/5 kill, and then if you blow up one of their creatures, they just forfeit. It is such a garbage deck. And then there's this on top of it, and you're gonna get Samurai Tribals mixed with it, so yeah, stop pushing that, Wizards. Nobody likes all-in glass cannons, and if they're into that for some reason, go play Modern, okay? Or Legacy or Vintage. So next up, Secluded Courtyard. As Secluded Courtyard enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. You can tap it and add one colorless, or you can tap it for any color, but you can only spend the mana on a creature spell of the type that you just chose, or an ability of one of the creatures of the chosen type. So pretty flexible tribal card. I think people might actually play this outside of Standard, but I also feel like we have other versions of this that exist. I checked though, and it's not a reprint, so, you know, whatever. Next up, Lethal Exploit. It's a 2-cost black instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. It gets an additional -1/-1 until end of turn for each modified creature you controlled as you cast this spell, not when it resolves. Don't know why they felt the need to tack that on, but okay, pretty good card. Problem is, if you have a giant army of modified creatures with counters, auras, and equipment on them, you probably don't need one of their creatures -3'd. But you could, you know, take what they think is a good block and make it a bad block, I guess. Next up, Shiba Inu Doggo. We saw this in the art leak. Oh boy. Or spoiler, or whatever. I don't even know at this point. So, it's a Spirited Companion, 2-cost 1/1 white enchantment creature, Doggo. And when it enters battlefield, draw a card. Real simple. Not very good, but real simple. The problem is, this is a 2-drop white enchantment, so this is just going to drive up your enchantment count while probably going to get another enchantment. Is anybody else getting the impression that you could build a pretty functional white or white-green deck or white-blue deck that is 100% enchantments and is still running creatures? And then there's stuff that's like boosted by the number of enchantments you control. It's going to get harsh, I'm telling you. This is going to get rough. They apparently weren't very good at counting before they designed this set. So next up, Behold the Unspeakable. Another enchantment. Oh boy. So number 1, creatures you don't control get -2 attack until your next turn. Number 2, if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 4 cards. Otherwise, scry 2, then draw 2 cards. That's pretty ridiculous, but the first one is basically nothing. That's not going to hold off anything by the time you have 5 mana. And the second one, well, okay, you paid 5 mana. Still, draw 4 for 5 mana, 1 turn removed is a little much. It is conditional though, and then -3, exile it and flip it over to Vision of the Unspeakable. So it's another enchantment creature spirit, and it has flying and trample, and it gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand. So refill your hand and hit them with a mediocre thing. Alright. It's really just about enchantment counts at this time. Next up, Tamashi, or who knows, Reality Architect. So we've got a legendary creature, Moonfolk Wizard, 3 costs, blue 2/3, and whatever 1 or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, no matter who owns them, oh my god, draw a card. I'm glad Divide by 0 was banned, now ban the other 5 versions of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is not what I wanted to see when people are still playing the Hullbreaker Lear crap. I mean, they don't have turns on top of it, but it doesn't matter. They now can refill their hand with just this piece of shit. So there you go, the first Kamigawa card that I can absolutely say with certainty this is going to be problematic in Standard. Not, oh, maybe they went too far. Oh, maybe this deck will go too far. No, that deck's already too far. They didn't do anything about it in the last ban, except in Alchemy, which, no, they didn't, first of all. And secondly, nobody plays it. But yeah, wait, there's more. If you pay X +1 white, return a land you control to its owner's hand, return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard directly to the battlefield. Activate only at sorcery speed. So that's insane. Graveyard recycling on top of unlimited free lands for bouncing shit back to hand and dropping storm stuff and killing them with Mr. Krabs while bouncing everything they own back to hand. Which I think I already said, but still. It's that often. In fact, you know what? It also bounces everything you have back to hand. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not. Yeah, what a piece of crap this is. Oh my god, game-ruining garbage. Next up, Mirror Box. It's a rare artifact, 3 cost, colorless. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. There you go, game-ruining trash right there. There is so much cloning in the game right now. It's in blue, which is already very heavily played in the most annoying decks. Shocker, I know. But wait, there's more. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1, and each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. So it's actually promoting cloning. I hate this. And remember, that stupid Zendikar Rising Cloner card that just clones every spell on the stack, that's still legal too, in addition to a land that clones. Yeah, I'm going to build a Kraken, Octopus, and Leviathan deck that just clones everything and runs this bullshit, and I'm just going to run people over with it. And the other half of the deck will be counter spells. We'll see how that does. Soldador de Sukata. Or some pronunciation of that, I don't know, you'd think they'd use more accents. It's freaking Portuguese. So allegedly this is Scrap Welder, or Welder of Scrap, and it's a Goblin Artificer. It's a rare, and it says tap it, sacrifice an artifact with mana value X, and then return target artifact card with mana value less than X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gets haste until end of turn. So it's like Birthing Pod, but in reverse, which is probably the more fair way to do it. But let's just cut the crap. You're going to get Mirror Box after somebody finally blew it up. Great. Next up, Invoke Despair. What the hell is this? It's a quad black 5-cost sorcery. Okay. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Then repeat this process for an enchantment and a planeswalker. So if they have like nothing in play, they would basically take 6 damage. Otherwise, they're going to lose 1 of each. And if they only have 1 of these, that'd be nice. So it's another black card that can take out an enchantment, which is a recent thing that they kind of did to the color pie, admittedly on purpose. And I don't love it. I mean, this isn't targeted, so it's not that new. They did do basically targeted black enchantment removal a while back, but this is pretty darn close. The one thing is, they're going to have 12 enchantments. I mean, welcome to Kamigawa. So this is going to do absolutely nothing. Nobody's playing mono black right now. You always got to splash white to get anything going. And if they were running mono black, it was a Faceless Haven deck. I guarantee you that. I just think for the cost and the inflexibility, this isn't that good, but I guess they're hyping it up like, whoa, it's a big, giant, black-only rare spell because it gets rid of enchantments. Well, you're going to have to go a hell of a lot further than that to get rid of the amount of enchantments that you're going to need to fight the number of enchantments that people are going to play. This is really just like, oh, I'm going to take out a creature and a planeswalker, and we got cheaper ways than 5 to do that. So next up, Aki Warpaint. It's a 1-cost red enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +2/+1. Oh, so you can pre-enchant a vehicle. That's fun. Or you can enchant an equipment that has the, whatever it is, dequip ability. And then if it falls off, well, you got this boost. But then it wouldn't apply to the creature. I don't know, that wouldn't be the best use of mana, but kind of neat. Next up, we got Sokenzan, Origin of the Uprisers. Yeah, these are the anti-technology hipster haters, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it comes in untapped, it's legendary, and you can tap it for red. So that right there is huge. And then it has channels. So you pay 4 and discard this card, obviously, because it's channel, and create 2 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens. They gain haste until the end of your turn, or this turn. And then this ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. In which case, why would you need 1/1s? But sure. Red on the ground Spirit Rush. I didn't think I'd see that. That's pretty wild. That might kind of work with Strixhaven, but I don't know. The sooner Strixhaven can cycle out, the better. So next up, we got Befriending the Moths. Very good idea if you're playing Skyrim. So 1 and 2 on the Saga, it's a 4-drop, by the way, is target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. So that's pretty nuts. And then exile it and flip it over to be a Moth. And it's just a 2/4 enchantment creature with flying. Not terrible, I think pretty appropriately costed for what it does for 4. I mean, you wouldn't want people to do that too early. Next up, we got Kodama of the West Tree. I think this might be one of the returning legendaries that they were talking about. I just remember hearing Kodama's name somewhere and probably playing him in my modern deck, but yeah, it's a 3-cost 3/3 mythic, so hello, legendary creature spirit. Makes sense. I think Kodama was a living druid last time around. Could be wrong. It has reach, and modified creatures you control have trample. Great. And whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, search your library for a basic land card and put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Okay, well, landfall's still legal, so that's pretty wild. So if you're not keeping track here as far as tier 1+ decks, we've got white-green landfall, which runs a mountain of enchantments, obviously. We've got white-green all enchantment synergy. Then we've got white-green life gain, which is the nightmare that I'm running right now. 1 out of those 3 is a disgusting power level right now and should have probably been banned. Another one of the three is kind of borderline really good tier 1, and then a third one I'm predicting is going to be a thing. So, boy, you do not want to see the price tag on some of these white-green cards when this comes out, and I'm not here to give investment advice, but let's just say if I had a couple $100, I would throw them at every single standard legal, rare, or mythic card that has anything to do with the number of enchantments or enchantments entering the battlefield or fetching enchantments, because they're going to skyrocket to the moon when the set launches. I mean, half the set is enchantments and the other half cares about enchantments, and there's some crossover between them. Just saying. So that is it for this group of spoilers. I'm going to cover the ones that kind of started at midnight last night in the next video. I think we got about 20 more, not quite. So yeah, tune in for that. Don't forget to subscribe for more great coverage. And I'm one of the few YouTubers who still plays, 10 plus matches of Arena per day just to kind of get the gist of it. And, plus I'm like 91% Mythic right now, and I've got a couple days to maybe get up there. But I've fought people who are 95 without a rank, so I think I'm 100 wins away. I don't know. I kind of don't want to qualify for this Mythic Championship because I think the next format is also Alchemy. I could be wrong. And after the ban, I still don't really want to play Standard. It's like, oh, wow, you got rid of turns. That's it. Wow, thanks. Great. People are still playing Mr. Krabs' Lear crap, so yeah, could have stood to ban about 10 more cards there, Wizards. But because I play so damn many at such a high level, I've got a pretty good grasp on which one of these cards are going to take off and which ones aren't. And I think that's why around spoiler time, I usually get more views than any other time, because people are like, okay, I'm going to see what this guy has to say about him, because I'm very, very historically accurate about my card assessments. So before I pat myself on the back any harder, I'll see you guys next time.